Good day. In this video, I will explain where to find official vaccine labels and how to read them. For now, the resource site is located at Arete-Zoe website under the VAERS Explorer drop-down menu, Resources. Some content is only available to logged-in users. However, vaccine labels can be accessed by anyone. Direct link to the page is as reflected on the screen. We have compiled all official vaccine labels for FDA-approved vaccines on the U.S. market and organized them by disease they protect against. Under each condition or disease, in this example hepatitis B, you will find a brief description with links to sites that provide additional information. Below that, all currently approved vaccines are identified. In the column Product Label, you will find a link to DailyMed and the official FDA-approved vaccine label. Discontinued products are not included. Every FDA-approved vaccine available in the U.S. market has an official product label issued by the holder of the biological license application. Approved labels are publicly available online in the NIH database DailyMed. Vaccine labels disclose known adverse events and risks associated with a particular vaccine, beginning with initial trials and cumulatively through updates from post-market experiences. This information accompanies every dose. However, this information may not be fully presented or its significance appreciated by the patient at the time of vaccination. Information on vaccines that are available under emergency use authorization can be found on the FDA website. In this example, the FDA provides links to both EUA and approved versions of the vaccine. All vaccine labels contain sections on indications and usage, as shown on the right. Older format of vaccine labels may not contain all of the sections. The DailyMed database also contains depiction of the packaging. Some products also contain a boxed warning that describes specific risk. This example shows vaccine ACAM 2000 to prevent smallpox. This vaccine is only available as a strategic national stockpile. The section on indications and usage defines what disease the vaccine is supposed to prevent and who it is intended for. For example, Boostrix is indicated for active booster immunization against tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis in individuals aged 10 and older. The section on contraindications specifies conditions under which the vaccine should not be administered. For example, the MMR2 vaccine must not be administered in individuals with a history of hypersensitivity to any component of the vaccine and in people who are immunosuppressed or immunodeficient due to underlying illness or medications. Additional contraindications include fever, active tuberculosis, and pregnancy. The section on warnings and precautions contains information on specific risks of a vaccine and ways to mitigate any adverse consequences for the patient. For example, the Comirnaty vaccine against COVID-19 advises that appropriate medical treatment used to manage immediate allergic reactions and procedures to be in place to avoid injury from fainting. The Comirnaty label specifically elaborates on the risk of myocarditis and pericarditis observed from post-marketing data. Additionally, the label warns that immunocompromised persons, including individuals receiving immunosuppressant therapy, may have a diminished immune response to the Comirnaty. Comirnaty may not protect all vaccine recipients. Therefore, individual patient benefit risks should be contemplated. The section on adverse reaction provides data observed under controlled conditions in clinical trials. This example uses the label for Gardasil, a vaccine to prevent human papillomavirus-associated cancers. The data on adverse events observed in clinical trials is presented in tabular form. Trial duration is a limited observational period. This information primarily concerns injection site reactions. For long-term side effects, post-market data in VAERS should be considered. All studies listed in vaccine labels are registered at clinicaltrials.gov, which is publicly accessible. This registry provides a wealth of information about the objectives of the study, study design, enrolled patients, outcome measures, with study sponsorship and funding sources. Post-marketing experience mainly derives from national reporting systems such as VAERS and includes special monitoring programs and studies conducted after approval. Incident numbers are not provided because current systems cannot account for prevalence, incidence, or rates of occurrence. It is not known how many people experience these adverse events or if the vaccine in fact caused them. However, because of strong correlation, these adverse reactions may be added to the vaccine label by the license holder and/or as requested and approved by the FDA. Note that the information is organized using MEDRA terminology. For example, under MEDRA System Organ Class, gastrointestinal disorders, you can find pancreatitis. This specificity will enable optimal data retrieval from VAERS Explorer. The section on interactions provides details on relevant interactions between the vaccine and other products, typically antibiotics, cancer treatments, or corticosteroids, and co-administration with other vaccines. For example, the Biothrax label specifically states that the vaccine can be administered together ciprofloxacin, an antibiotic used to treat anthrax. This vaccine targets shingles and should not be used in children and adolescents for prevention of primary chickenpox infection. The section on the use in specific populations elaborates on the use during pregnancy and breastfeeding and in children and the elderly. For example, live Vostr vaccine, Vostravax, must not be used in pregnant women because it can cause specific birth defects known as congenital varicella syndrome. If you would like to know more about human clinical studies conducted with a vaccine, you can scroll to the section Clinical Studies or References. NCTs are reference numbers of clinical trials. You can find more about these studies by searching the NIH registry at clinicaltrials.gov. If you cannot find an NCT number, you can search by product name. It is not required to perform non-clinical toxicology testing for vaccines. This label section is very important for drugs. Information from animal studies relevant for administration of this vaccine in pregnancy is typically included in the section on special populations. Revision of the definition of vaccine enabled mRNA products to circumvent this otherwise regulated requirement. In some instances, patients receive a medication guide that explains using patient-friendly terms what to do in case of complications. Specifically, Medication Guide for Vaccine Against Smallpox, ACAM 2000, lists myocarditis and pericarditis as possible side effects and advises patients to call their healthcare provider or get immediate emergency help if they experience chest pain or pressure, fast or irregular heartbeat, or breathing problems. The medication guide also clearly illustrates what a normal post-vaccination reaction looks like to differentiate from an adverse reaction. We believe in individual choice and informed consent. VAERS Explorer can help you find and understand information for confident decisions on benefit and risk for yourself and those in your care. Thank you for your time.